Hello, hello to Facebook and YouTube and Instagram over here. My name is Rebecca. This is Clear Tarot NYC Free Tarot Fridays, a thing that I do most weeks, most Fridays at noon. I'm, if we've never met before, a performing artist and writer living in New York City. My long-term beloved side hustle, as it were, is reading tarot at parties and for people one-on-one. I did it for a long time, then I stopped doing it for a long time. Now I'm doing it again. And something that I have found is that when you tell people that you read people's tarot, there are many versions of assumptions that people have about that. So I started doing this as a way to kind of say, like, why don't I not explain how I do it or how I think of it and just start doing it for people? Hi, you guys. Hi, Shivana. Hi, Anastasia. Hi, David. Anastasia, I have someone I'm reading for this week, so I'm going to do her reading, but I love this question because it's really specific, and it is December, which I can't believe it. She wants to know, what should I do in December? So if it's okay with you, I'll read for you next Friday at noon, and we will answer that question. What should Anastasia do in December? Yes, I started this thing where I'm lining people up ahead of time. It doesn't have to happen, but this week I'm reading for Shivana, who is someone who I met through my solo show, How to Read Tarot Cards, a play. She was the random audience member I read for that night. And then I said I would send her the picture of her spread. Sorry, I'm distracted by my own image. I said I would send her the picture of her spread, and I never did. And I said, how about instead you come on this show and I read for you then? So that's what I'm doing today. And I was thinking, well, first of all, I watched last week's and I went, that is too long. I think I'm going to talk less and read more. And in the spirit of talking less and reading more, when I asked Shivana for a question, and I was thinking as I sat down here about many ways I could answer it. And then I reminded myself, hey, Rebecca, what you're here to do is read someone's tarot, not answer their question. You're here to see what the cards say and interpret the cards. And it's just helpful every once in a while to remember what I'm actually doing and put myself back on track. But I wanted to talk about her question because a lot of times people say, do I have to have a question? And you do not. Sometimes the question is help. Anne Lamott says the 3 essential prayers are help, thanks, and wow. And sometimes it's just, could you tell me what my question should be? Which I think is what the question of the week is, like, how can I find clarity? That's what I want, is clarity, which is basically, what should my question be? Where should I be focusing? And I think that's in a way a version of every question. She's at a crossroads. There was a lot of like ancillary questions that I won't go into that were ways of looking for clarity. But it's funny because I'm reminding myself again to put the cards out before I talk. But one thing I was thinking very glibly was, when will I find clarity? I was like, never, but that doesn't have to be a good thing. It's sort of like a thing that you've probably heard me say before, is that the day that I realized that mindfulness was not something I was going to achieve and then be done with was a kind of a disappointment, where I went, you mean I have to like keep meditating and I have to keep doing it over and over? Because sometimes I think this is also related to what I was talking last week about the idea of getting rid of the word should, because should I do this is always like Anastasia, your question, what should I focus on in December? Should is always a word that means I don't want to have to make this decision myself. I'd like it to be made for me. And most decisions kind of will be made for us, I happen to think. But I think there's something about, when I was like, why can't I just achieve mindfulness, or can I get to clarity? It's like there's a kind of thought behind that's like, I'll get there, and then I can kind of turn the engine off and kick back and be like, I finally got there. I'm clear. And it is true that we will have moments of clarity, and we will get to places and understand things, and moments of mindfulness and seeing things. But if we don't it goes away, right? And then we have to get it back because things keep coming at us. Life keeps coming. There are new questions. The minute we answer one, we have to keep asking them. And I was flipping around, scrolling through things as we do before this, and people were already starting to say, like, what do you want in 24? And someone said to have a regular meditation practice. And I was like, you know what, man? Me too. Why is that so hard? Why is it so hard to do nothing? Because that's really what meditation is stop, sit there, don't do anything. And everybody thinks, I love doing nothing. This should be easy. But we don't actually love doing nothing. We love checking out. Like, we love watching TV or scrolling on our phone, or like, if you're me, doing crossword puzzle. We love like thinking and ruminating and we love if you're like me, like our beginning meditations are often incredibly busy. I have a friend who calls it obsessing with your eyes closed because it's so frustrating for her. But to actually sit and do nothing, including when we start to think and ruminate, say, oh, nope, we're not doing that right now. And coming back to doing nothing is hard. It's not what we're used to doing. We're used to solving our problems by doing stuff and thinking about it. But of course, the paradox is that it's like the expression, don't just do something, sit there. We can't get to clarity until we shut up for a second and do nothing and allow whatever the answer is to bubble up. And it will not come probably in one moment. It may take some time, you know. So I guess my first thing is to just say, like, it's a life, the what should I do? And like, when will I find clarity is a lifelong process. That's why we have tools like the tarot, so we can keep coming back over and over, being like, okay, now what, like help my mind focus, put me into alignment, you know? So, hi, everybody who's just joining, and also hello to people who watch this later. My name is Rebecca. You can find me on Instagram at The Tarot Philosopher. You can also find me at cleartarotnyc.com. Because it's December, how did it get to be December? I feel like I have to say that I'm doing gift certificates for readings this year. No, they are not up on the website yet. So if you go there and try to find them, you'll be confused. God, I love technology. If you want one, you can just send me a message and say, hey, I want a gift certificate for someone, blah, blah, and we will work that out. Yeah, so Shavana, happy to see you again. Happy to humble myself and remember that I'm asking the tarot about your question and not answering it. And the question that we always have is, when and how can I find clarity? There was some stuff in there about moving. Should I move? Will I move? And something about getting over a relationship. What I do remember, as I already told you from your reading during the show, was that there was a period of like a lot of spiritual learning. And then this Page of Cups kind of popped up to say, like, yes, you will be engaging with other people and emotions again. But that was in May. Let's see where you're at now. Okay, shuffling the cards, less talking, more cards, and cutting them. And what do I want to say to Shavana? Well, you know, something that makes me really happy is that this first card that comes up here is my favorite card in the deck, which is the Star, which makes me be like, yeah, okay, she's really doing it. You know, there was like a lot of testing, a lot of lessons, right, in the last like couple of years. But what I remember about you is that what I saw, you were a Queen of Wands, and you were a person who is hungry for spiritual knowledge and evolution and is never going to really be happy in a relationship or in anything where your mind is not being challenged. And I mean your right brain, your creative mind, the part of you that wants to quest, to adventure, to constantly be expanding, that knows there's something beyond the world that we can actually see, and that wants to keep learning. And I feel like we've come through a real phase of learning. And of course, the point to all these practices, right, is to get to this. This is the true part of ourselves. The bliss body is like the yoga way of talking about it. The spark of divinity, the part of us that connects to the big self, the little self connecting to the big self, the part of us that's an individual connecting to the universal. So this is very beautiful. And you may feel like you're in a really vulnerable place right now and you don't know what the hell is going on. But I just want to say that the tarot is telling you that where you're at is this very beautiful place of uncovering, of unpeeling, and of being very truthful with yourself. And I'm in a place right now where I really think the most important thing we can ever do is know what we actually, keep being honest with ourselves, but what we actually feel, instead of lying and thinking we should be a certain way. So, okay, less talking, more cards. The Star, let's see what else we've got. Yeah, and I want to also just, warn you gently against backsliding and backpedaling. That may not be avoidable, but I just want you to know right now, I feel like the tarot wants you to know that growth is a matter of 2 steps forward. Like, you're young, it's like 1 step forward, 2 steps back. I think that's the right expression, because we've got the Star, which is like this beautiful moment of truth and vulnerability. And like, I know who I am. I mean, if you want a card that's about clarity, you got it. You're in it. This is purity and clarity and truth. And then what we have crossing your path is the 7 of Swords, which is this minor card that to me is always like when we kind of lose our integrity for a second, we kind of want to cut corners. We want to do things the easy way. We want to step back into like old unhelpful habits. We want to rush things, and we make maybe are not our best decisions when we're trying to rush things. And I think one of the things you're trying to rush is getting over this relationship and also getting to the next phase of your life. And I just, I feel like, I don't know, I have to look at the rest of it. I don't know whether this is the old relationship resurfacing, but I just feel like in the next couple of weeks, like you're going to be challenged, like what you know is best for you will be challenged. You will have an instinct to do something that maybe is not the right thing. And so I feel like right now the whole message is like slow way down and be very intentional about everything you do. And like, this is life, right? We got to like keep screwing up and getting back on our feet. We've got this beautiful star crossed by this like, like maybe this is not my best self, resulting in the Wheel of Fortune, which is like, I'll never forget a friend of mine pulling this card at a party on Halloween one year, and my trying to talk to him about the Wheel of Fortune, which is the universal principle of change, which is another reason we never reach clarity, right? Because everything is constantly changing. There's no like place that we go where we're like, I got it, and maybe if we do, and then we're dead. That's the only way that it actually lasts, because things are constantly changing. So it is a process. And I told him that, and he was like, that's all you got for me, some ups, some downs, but I feel like, be very kind to yourself, because I feel like it's going to be a turbulent time. I feel like, and I also feel like the more you push for answers, this is not pushing for answers, this is coming for reflection, but the more turbulent the time will be. So let me look at the rest of this here. Yeah, I think this is kind of beautiful. I always love when this happens, that like your last reading, the Page of Cups was the final card, and now it's like you as you are right now. So we're here, we're here. If what you want is like, I'm going to jump back into dating and relationships, it's already happening. You're probably already kind of like, I'm interested in that person. And I just want to say, like, why don't we try doing it differently? Why don't we try slowing way down, moving slowly when we feel like we want to rush, not answering every text or email really fast. Like there's some things in there, because I feel like, there's like one way of solving a bad relationship pattern, which is just to stop having relationships. You could stop it. Then you get back in the game and you're like, oh, all my issues are still there, and that's beautiful. That's life. So, you've got you as you are right now, which is like just tentatively being like, what is in my heart? What do I really like? What do I really want? Not what I should like, not what I should want. What's in there, and then you as you appear to your environment, which is just this big, like, I think one of the attractive things about you is you're a dreamer, so people come to you being like, oh, I'm drawn in by all of this, imagination and what if and dreamlike stuff. It's sometimes frustrating, I think, because they can't kind of find you, because you can't find yourself. Like you don't know what your desires are right now either. Where you end and other people begin, still kind of confusing. So let's just take things very gently. What I love about this reading is, this is another thing that leads me to believe that maybe there's already like somebody on the scene that you're kind of thinking about. I could be wrong, but I could always be wrong. That's the thing. Not a psychic, just a tarot reader. And P.S. if someone is a psychic and they say they're always right, go to a different psychic. But the immediate past card is this beautiful Ace of Cups, which is like, a big emotional moment, ecstasy. My cup runneth over, like joy. There's something really like yummy and gooey has just happened in the immediate past. And what's immediate future is this big spiritual moment of like, oh, the light bulb going off, of transcendence, of like, oh, I get it. So it may be like, I'm tempted to be like, this next romance exists only for you to like learn a lesson, but that just sounds bleaker than what I actually mean. So we've got you as you are right now, Page of Cups, you as you appear to others, like, dream fantasy world is very exciting. And it is beautiful. And it also like comes from kind of you still like getting your sea legs, I feel like, as an adult. And, hopes and or fears. Who doesn't fear this? Like, like who does not fear this feeling, which is the Ten of Swords, which I always tell people, you don't have to look this up. Look at it. Like, look, how do you think this feels? So I think there's a little bit of like possibly trying to rush into dating so that we don't have to feel the pain of the ending of the old relationship, or even admit that the old relationship has ended. So let's just know that that's there and it's very human, but like the only way out is through. And I say that also because this final card just gives me a little pause, like this Eight of Swords is like, I just want to say that I feel like the kind of clarity you're talking about is just not going to come as fast as you want it to. And it's also not going to come without you, if you want something different, want a different result, you do things a different way, right? And this Eight of Swords to me suggests that there's a lot to be gained from stillness. I mean, I spent a lot of time being like, can you just like telling people, can they just sit down for 5 minutes and be still? Like, it's not hard, but it's really hard. You know, this blindfold, this bondage in the tarot always means like, you know, just don't move and look within. You know, like the answers are not out there and they're not about like doing stuff. The Seven of Swords is like premature action and forcing solutions. And the Eight of Swords is someone who's like, okay, I surrender. I surrender. I don't have the answer. There's nothing I can do. And then the tarot and the universe and me all breathe a sigh of relief, because the moment you go, I surrender, I don't know, I'm going to stop trying, then we can have clarity, you know, because ultimately all the smaller things you're asking about, like, when will I be ready to date again? Am I going to move back? Like, all those things are kind of like surface level stuff. They just won't matter as much until you like, and when you have this feeling of like, of certainty and clarity, you might actually be like, oh, those were all the wrong questions. I think all of those questions are trying to force the solution of like, when will I feel better? You know, like, when will this part be over? And it will be, because the only thing that is constant is change, you know, so you can trust in that. Is there anything else I want to say to you? I feel like not right now, because I'm trying to do shorter readings on this here live stream. I hope that was somewhat useful. If you want to come back to me, you can book readings with me whenever you want by just messaging me at the Tarot Philosopher or cleartarotnyc@gmail.com and saying, hey, I want a reading, and we will talk about how to do that. I right now have packs of 3 readings if you know you're going to want more of them, that are just like a little less costly than buying 3 readings. They're discounted. That is the word people use, Rebecca. Who is talking to me over here? Somebody over on YouTube is saying, can I ask something? Yes, please email me at cleartarotnyc@gmail.com and send me your question. I can't read for you today, but I can read for you on one of these here live streams. Next week, I'm going to answer Anastasia's question, and then we can get to V over here. You can also book a reading with me anytime. They're longer than this. They're more in-depth. Email me cleartarotnyc@gmail.com or visit me at cleartarotnyc.com. I'm so happy to have seen you guys obsessing with your eyes closed. Yes, that's what I wish for all of you this week, that you try to sit down for 5 or 10 minutes, even if all you do is obsess with your eyes closed, and invite some clarity. I'm so happy to have been here with you while my hair is sticking up like this, and I will see you next week at this time. See you in the future.